He's a quiet force and a fierce competitor. The perfect complement to the raw, unbridled driving talent of the man who drives his #3 Goodwrench Chevrolet, Dale Earnhardt. He is, of course, Richard Childress, car owner, team leader, and the man who has ridden with Dale to 6 of his 7 NASCAR Winston Cup championships. But before we meet Richard, let's take a look at the items we're making available on this special holiday shopping edition of NASCAR Shop Talk. We're offering this Richard Childress Racing #3 cap, sold with your choice of t-shirt or sweatshirt, both with 7-time NASCAR championship logos. Go Western with this classic Stetson honoring Dale's 7 NASCAR titles, also available with this Earnhardt belt buckle. 2 great new videos, the 1994 Year in Review and NASCAR Videos Legends of NASCAR, plus a free highlights tape. Collectors will love their choice of a collector's plate or this championship die-cast hauler. And an art lover's delight, Richard Childress Racing or Dale Earnhardt lithos with artist proofs available of Richard's litho. But first, your choice of 3 incredible jackets. For a casual day at the track, nothing's better than this stylish nylon Supplex lightweight jacket with 7-time championship logo. Item N9173 is only $125. Or step up to this leather and twill 7-time championship jacket from famed designer Jeff Hamilton. A true classic, it's only $399.99. Item N9181. For the ultimate Earnhardt fan, this Jeff Hamilton jacket featuring buttery soft leather, incredible stitching, and each made to order for perfect fit. This all-leather satin-lined 7-time championship jacket is only $1299.99. Item N9188. Call now, 1-800-258-1111. And now here's Eli and his guest, Richard Childress.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of ESPN's NASCAR Shop Talk. And now that Dale Earnhardt has been crowned a 7-time NASCAR Winston Cup champion, we're joined this evening by another true champion, 6 times the car ownership championship on the shoulders of Richard Childress. Great to have you with us today.
Great to be here, Eli.
And we appreciate your opening up the doors to the museum just adjacent to your racing shops. We are in Welcome, North Carolina. And I've got to comment, this 1974 Chevy Laguna just over my shoulder. You ever wish it was you who was the 7-time champion as a driver and Dale Earnhardt was the car owner?
Well, not really. You know, I never look back at the past, you know, what's happened over the years. You know, back when I drove, you know, I always dreamed of being the Winston Cup champion. And every race I ever started, I always thought I had a chance to win. I said, maybe today's the day that a Dale Earnhardt or a Cale Yarborough or Richard Petty, all these guys will have trouble, and today will be my day. Yeah.
Let's talk about this season. Did you ever expect you'd wrap the championship up as early as this team did with a couple of races yet to run?
Not really, Eli. The competition level in Winston Cup is so strong right now. To be able to do it this early was amazing, and I think with Ernie's accident, if he hadn't had the problem that they had, I think it would have been probably a different season, because that team is awful strong. We got a lot of respect for them. And Robert Yates and Larry McReynolds has got a super team there.
How tough was it back in August? On a Saturday morning at 8:30, Ernie Irvan got injured, and all of a sudden you went from leading the points by 90 to leading the point championship by nearly 300 that quickly. Was it tough keeping the team focused?
Well, you know, at that point, we weren't thinking about that. We were thinking about Ernie's condition, because Ernie's a good friend of this whole team. We kid a lot,
sure,
had a lot of fun and everything. And that whole thing, I think, even what happened up in the race with Dale, we were also concerned about it, that maybe we even lost focus of what we were supposed to do that day at the racetrack because of Ernie's condition. And we got back and we talked about everything. And at that point, we seen that we were going to be running a different race. So sure, we looked at things a little different at that point.
This is the 7th championship for Dale, the 6th for yourself as a car owner. Any more or less satisfying, this championship as opposed to the others?
No, I think anytime you can win a Winston Cup championship is a great feat in today's any type of sport. And, you know, this just happened to be number 7. We didn't start out this year saying we got to win it because it's number 7, or next year will be number 8. We're hoping we're going to focus on winning a championship. And we don't look at the numbers, you know. When we get older someday, maybe we'll sit on the porch and say, yep, we done it.
You did that. I think the thing that a lot of folks point at, too, is there's been so little turnover with this racing team. Sure, over the years, Lou LaRosa has left, Kirk Shelmerdine, and a couple of others, but basically this team has stayed together. You run it, it seems like a Fortune 500 company.
Well, it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and sometime you wonder, where will it stop? But we got a lot of dedicated people, and the people that work for this team all have the same goals, and I think that's the reason. I'm sure they could go other places and make more money or go to a higher position or whatever, but they're dedicated to winning, and they know with this team that we're going to be there winning.
This holiday edition of NASCAR Shop Talk continues, but right now, another look at the merchandise available to you. And we're coming right back to welcome North Carolina.
Pick one of these 3 great jackets. The sleek and sharp windbreaker with 7-time logo. Item N9173 is $125. This classic leather and twill jacket, very stylish, $399.99. Item N9181. Or for the ultimate Earnhardt fan, the ultimate jacket from Jeff Hamilton. This all-leather jacket is only $1299.99. Item N9188. Call now. 1-800-258-1111. There's more holiday shopping with this edition of NASCAR Shop Talk right after this. Welcome back to the holiday edition of NASCAR Shop Talk. Honor our guest and his driver with your choice of a t-shirt or sweatshirt, both sold with a sharp 6-panel cap featuring the logo of Richard Childress Racing. The cotton t-shirt celebrates Dale's 7 titles with state-of-the-art graphics. Cap and tee, item number N9184, is only $38.99. Something warmer? Check out this RCR Racing cap along with this plush sweatshirt. And yes, it features the sharp Dale Earnhardt 7-time championship logo. Item N9185 is only $49.99. Call now, 1-800-258-1111. Back to Eli and his special guest, Richard Childress.
It's a classic wheel mark on a classic Monte Carlo that Dale Earnhardt drove to many a win and a championship in the mid-'80s. Richard Childress, now there's a new Monte Carlo on the burners. How's it going to compare to this old warhorse behind you?
Well, I hope that, we're fortunate enough to do with it what we were able to do with this Monte Carlo. This is, we left this car with all the wheel marks and everything on it just like it finished the last race it ran. And I think the new Monte Carlo is going to be a great race car. It's going to take some more development to get it where we want it, but we're really looking forward to it.
For the newcomers to NASCAR Winston Cup racing, describe Dale Earnhardt.
In which side? If you're talking about racing, to us, he's the greatest. I think he'll go down in history as one of the greatest Winston Cup drivers it was. As hunting, he's a friend. He's a good friend that we go out and we have a lot of fun doing that. But as a person, he's as competitive when we're out doing something together, if it's fishing or hunting or whatever, as he is in a race car. He's just a very competitive person.
How similar or dissimilar are Richard Childress and Dale Earnhardt? Do you look at race strategies the same way, or is one more conservative than the other?
Well, he's always picking on me, saying that I'm the conservative type, but I think we both know what it takes to win the championships, and we respect each other's ideas, and I think that's one reason we get along so well is because of the respect we have for each other. And I know what he does in the car, and he's got confidence in us putting the equipment together and making the calls that we make. And
is there much feedback during the race? Does he talk a lot on the in-car radio?
No, we don't talk a whole lot, but we do have some feedback. Whenever we need something, we'll talk, but we look at a lot of things after a pit stop, our tire temperatures and different things, and get some readings, and we'll work the car from there, and he does give us some feedback.
You might think that Dale Earnhardt is the only driver for Richard Childress Racing, but there's another name on the horizon, Mike Skinner. We'll talk about that when we come back after you check out these items.
This RCR cap is available with this t-shirt or sweatshirt, both with Earnhardt 7-time championship logos. $38.99 for the cap and tee, item N9184, or $49.99 for the cap and sweatshirt, item N9185. Call now, 1-800-258-1111. You can also place your order by mail. Just send your check or money order to this address. Keep it here. More NASCAR Shop Talk is coming up. We're back with a special holiday edition of NASCAR Shop Talk. Here's a collector's choice. This limited edition 7-time championship transporter offered here for the first time. A true collectible, it comes sealed in its own case. Item N9186 is only $79.99. Please note, this item will not be shipped until after Christmas, but it's worth the wait. You'll get fast delivery on this classic 22-karat gold-edged plate featuring Dale's 7-time championships. Item N9169 is only $37.99. It's a fantastic gift. Now back to Eli and his guest, Richard Childress.
We are with championship car owner Richard Childress. Do you ever stop to think that alongside petty enterprises in this sport, but at the same time alongside the Robbie family in football, Charlie Finley, Colonel Rupert with the New York Yankees, you are one of the winningest owners in all of professional sports, bar none?
I never take time to look at what we've done or slow down probably enough to take time to look at it and maybe, like I say, enjoy it. We always look into the future, and someday, again, I hope we can sit back on our porch with my grandkids and say, yep, I was there at one time.
Where did you learn all that you have learned organizationally? Was it from Junior Johnson? Does it just come naturally? How did you get to be so successful?
I think the answer to that is the people that's with me, that work for RCR Enterprises. They're the people that's made it happen. A great driver like Dale Earnhardt getting in the car, all those are things that's helped us get where we are today.
People say that Dale Earnhardt can take any car and make it run well, kind of like Cale Yarborough used to in his heyday. Does Dale have a lot of hands-on input in this car, or does he just get out of the car and tell Andy Petrie, here's what needs to be done, you guys go ahead and fix it?
Now, we've got a good working relationship. Dale, he gives a lot of input, and Andy and Kirk in the past have always took that input and worked with it, and he'll go out and run the car and say, well, we need a little more of this or a little less. So he really is good at working with us on that.
How about Richard Childress? How much of a hands-on involvement do you have for the folks who don't see you in the racetrack or a garage setting?
Well, today's schedule is just mostly handling, dealing with our sponsors and the media and keeping the organization running, doing a lot of planning and future planning for where RCR Enterprises is going to be 5 or 6 years from now, and that takes up a lot of time.
You've just been crowned champion again at the Waldorf Astoria. You'll sit down any day now with the team and start seriously planning for 1995. Is there an area that you see that needs improvement, as remarkable as that might sound?
Well, each year we start working on the following year in about October. So since about October, we've been working on our 95 schedule, and we know we've got a couple of weak spots, and we got some changes that's going to be made and moved around. So we're preparing ourselves for that. And I think, if anything, it isn't good news for our competitors, but I think we can be as strong in 95 as we are in 94.
Am I prying too much to ask what those weak spots might be in an organization that's won all these titles?
Well, I would, if the areas that we would like to improve, we want to win a road course. We want to win the Daytona 500. Sure. And just constantly improving your team. We've constantly got to improve. If we don't, we'll get beat.
Some honest answers from one of the best in the business, Richard Childress. We're right back to Welcome North Carolina in just a moment.
A collector's choice. This 7-time championship hauler, $79.99, item N9186, or this hand-designed championship plate, $37.99, item N9169. Call now, 1-800-258-1111. There's more NASCAR Shop Talk coming up after this, and stay with us. A very special guest will be stopping by. Welcome back to Shop Talk. From Sam Bass, his latest work, the Magnificent 7 limited edition litho, featuring the 7 cars Dale drove to his titles. Signed and numbered by the artist, only $125, item N9166. And this celebration of the teamwork between Dale and today's guest, Richard Childress, featuring the new 1995 Monte Carlo. Also available in rare artist-corrected proofs, each one unique and signed by Sam and Richard. $250 for item N9190. All pieces come rolled and ready for framing. Call now, 1-800-258-1111.
Welcome back to Welcome North Carolina, and look who the winter winds have blown in here this evening. Dale Earnhardt, good to have you with us.
Great to be here, just fresh off a hunting trip.
Glad you're able to join us here tonight. Richard Childress, you and I were getting set to talk about Dale Earnhardt, and when you first saw him and said, this man can drive a race car, when was that?
I'd go back to an invitational race at Charlotte, Metro Atlanta, and that day that we was running, he ran in that race, and Cale Yarborough and I wrecked, and he came. I thought you were second.
Third.
He
I
finished
might have
third.
finished
I believe
second
you were
after you wrecked
second
Cale,
after, after Cale wrecked.
After
and,
you wrecked Cale.
We ended up.
That's where I got my aggressive driving.
Is that the truth is coming out?
I watched
coming
him.
out. So we. He came over after the race and said, you know, I'm going to beat you one of these days. And that was the first time I can remember actually speaking to him. My brother came up and told me about a young guy at Caraway that was going to be tough. And he come across the line with Butch Lindley, last lap, won the race. And
On top of Butch's car.
so, I mean, that's the first
kind of
time I
racing
heard
was.
Dale's name.
What about Richard Childress, Dale? Given the equipment that you have today with the financial backing, would he have been successful as you?
I think so. With everything I've had given, put in front of me to drive this car, and I had so many race cars with Osler and then with Bud Moore and with Childress now, the opportunities and the resources we have with testing and everything, I think he could have done it too, because he would have been focused on driving the car alone instead of towing it to the racetrack, working on it, building the engines and everything he did. And I did it when I was in sportsman racing. He did it when he was in Winston Cup starting with, and it's just about impossible. And I don't know how we'd do it today. I don't know how Dave Marks and these guys do it, but my schedule and Childress' schedule today, with things as busy as they are, I don't know how we do it all now. And I don't have to do anything but drive.
You guys seem to have a remarkable relationship, though. I mean, a lot of car owners and drivers in this business are strictly that. One guy's here, one guy's here. They see each other at the track. You guys have a very special relationship.
Well, we fall off a mountain together.
we were 2 years ago, I think it was, we were on top of a mountain about 10,000 feet in New Mexico, and he looked over at me and we were splitting a can of Vienna sausages and crackers, and he said, I just wonder how many other car owners could be enjoying a deal like this or something. It was a pretty neat deal.
Out in nature, and it was a pretty breathtaking view of off the top of that 10,000-foot peak we was on, and we'd climbed the road horses and climbed up there, and we was really just enjoying the champ. We just won the championship, and or we really hadn't locked it up yet.
I was looking after him to make sure he didn't fall off the mountain.
We had to finish up Atlanta, Phoenix and Atlanta, but we were looking at winning that sixth one, and we were just really reflecting of what we've had and what we've done together, and we enjoyed it so much, and that's why, because we do enjoy doing things together. And I mean, I don't go to his house and eat dinner every night and stuff like that, but still, when we go, we plan a lot of trips together, hunting trips, or we go test a lot together, and he goes along. He just because he's a car owner, he still goes to the test. He's right there all the time.
Well, listen, guys, thanks so much for it. It's great to have you swing by, Dale. We appreciate the visit. And RC, thanks for allowing us into the shop and museum here. I'm Eli Gold. Want to thank you all for joining us here on Shop Talk. We'll be back with you again in 1995. So keep it right here on ESPN for NASCAR coverage and NASCAR Shop Talk. Have a great holiday season. So long, everybody.
It's your choice of art. The Magnificent Seven, featuring Dale Earnhardt and his 7 championship steeds. Or this litho, featuring the championship duo. Also available in limited autographed artist proofs. Now let's take a look back at all the items from today's show. Your choice of jackets: sleek and stylish windbreaker, leather and twill jacket, or the ultimate, this all-leather classic from Jeff Hamilton. An RCR racing cap with 7-time championship t-shirt or sweatshirt. 7-time champ Stetson, available with or without the belt buckle. And a 1994 year-in-review video and NASCAR's greatest legends with a free highlights tape. For the collectors, this 7-time championship plate or 7-time championship transporter. Operators are standing by 24 hours a day now through Christmas, so call anytime. 1-800-258-1111. You can also order by mail. Send a check or money order to NASCAR Shop Talk, Post Office Box 19807, Birmingham, Alabama 35219. Be sure to include postage and handling. From everyone here at NASCAR Shop Talk, have a happy holiday season.